at CPAC, we've got the great Alan West. I mean, this man has served his country as a patriot, colonel, Army. He's a tremendous guy. Former chairman of the Republican Party here in Texas, also congressman, and he's just recently announced he's running for governor. He is also the first guest we ever had in the Economic War Room, so we welcome back Alan West.
Good to be with you, Kevin. Thank you
so much.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about what your plans are for Texas.
The plans is to make Texas a leader once again here in the United States of America, because so goes Texas, so goes America. And when you look at the intentional, purposeful actions that the Biden administration is taking, this is all about undermining the Lone Star State. And we have got to have strong leadership that stands up and pushes back against the federal government that is abdicating their constitutional role and responsibility to protect our sovereignty.
I feel in a lot of ways, as a Texas resident, that the federal government is now committing economic warfare against Texas.
Yes, they are.
I mean, they're trying to divest our energy industry.
Yes.
They're trying to eliminate fossil fuels. So what do we do about it?
Well, that's where, again, when you start to look at them taking these unconstitutional executive actions to try to rule instead of govern, we have got to have that leadership coming out of Austin that says you're not going to be able to do that. That if you want to come down here and you want to pass legislation, that's one thing. But you're not going to, undermine Texas by way of executive orders, like what we've seen with this open borders agenda. And you're right, when you look at the fact that your energy security is part of your economic security and your national security.
Right.
I mean, how is it that we are undermining our oil and gas industry, but yet we're promoting Vladimir Putin's natural gas industry, with that pipeline that's coming out of Russia going over to Germany?
Right. And it's not just the White House. I mean, Wall Street seems geared. This whole ESG movement, people talk about, they say it is environment, social, and governance, but really it's eliminate fossil fuels. That's what the E stands for. S is social justice, critical race theory,
which is mandatory equality of outcomes.
Right. And the G is really a gender race agenda, because you got to put a quota of so many women and so many LGBTQ and so many various races on your board. It really isn't what Texas wants. I don't even think it's what America wants.
It's not what the private free market enterprise wants. But yet we have got to have the voices that stand up and says no and pushes back against them so that we can continue to be the incredible economy that we have here. But we also got to pay attention to our small businesses as well.
Oh, absolutely. Big business has aligned with big government,
Yes,
and it's
they have.
frightening. You see the SEC is talking about setting standards for ESG. Really, it's going to be government enforced mandates. What started off as, well, this is what my preference is now becoming, this is what the government's telling you have to do.
And think about where we've seen that previously, where you have that economic control of output and production of a country. You saw that with the Soviet Union. You see that with all communist countries. You see that with the Communist Chinese Party right now. So why would we want to replicate that here in the United States of America?
We don't. It's not good for liberty. We've done polls. People prefer liberty, security, and values to ESG. So LSV over ESG.
And so we've got to have the leadership that can articulate that and, again, have that pushback and bring together these constitutional law-abiding states that will say, we're not here for you to rule over us. We want you to govern us. We want you to go through the legislative process. I was just up in Alaska a couple of days ago, and I'm standing there, got to touch the Alaskan, pipeline. And here we had everything done in the previous administration, Trump administration,
Right.
by legislation, signing something into law. Then the Biden administration comes along and says, no, you can't, have this flow of these energy resources by executive order. When did we get to the point in the United States of America where an executive order trumps law?
I don't know. Here's my problem. I don't see in the Constitution control of energy. I get the idea, interstate commerce and all of that. I don't think the founders at all intended for the federal government to mandate which type of energy you use and how you use it.
Of course not, but that's part of their ideological agenda, and it is also part of the socialist economic model, which is nationalizing economic production, to include nationalizing now our electoral systems, which is what they're trying to do with H.R. 1 and S1.
I know, it's scary. Here's something else scary, and you probably thought about the Chinese digital yuan and the control a digital currency gives, because you can turn it on or off. You use it here, but you can't use it there. Use it for this amount of. I have a solution I think Texas can do and lead again. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Article 1, Section 10, it says, No state shall issue currency except
Yep.
gold and silver coins.
Yep.
And we've got a bullion depository here in the state of
Absolutely.
Texas. What if we took the blockchain and we added that to our depository? So you could put money on deposit, gold or silver on deposit in the state of Texas. You could take a card and you could use it to pay for things. You could use it. Here's the problem with gold is it's not easily divisible. You can't shave off.
Yeah.
But with the blockchain digital version of it,
Sure.
you can do that.
You can digitize the value.
You can yes. And the second problem is the IRS looks at a gain in gold as a capital gain that you owe tax on. And but if it's currency issued by a sovereign state called Texas, could they tax that? They don't tax our Federal Reserve notes.
No, they don't. And I think that's one of the key things, because when you look at how we're manipulating our economy with the printing of money, with the manipulation of the interest rates, we really don't have a free market economy. We have more so of I call it an artificial economy. And so we've got to look at those standards of currency, those standards of value that we can use to back that up.
Well, I'm going to take this forward. I talked to Congressman Gohmert and others. I think Texas should lead, go back to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10. Let's get real money back in circulation by creating the Texan and ask other states to join us.
Absolutely. And Article 1, Section 10, Clause number 3 talks about how we can secure our own border as well.
If we're being invaded.
If we're being invaded. Which
And we are. That's
Absolutely.
right. That's exactly right. Well, Colonel West, it is an honor always to see you. Thanks for stopping by at CPAC.
My pleasure. And you can follow us in our campaign at West4Texas.com.
West4Texas.
West4Texas.com.
Thank you. God bless
Thanks,
you.
Kevin. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.